Guys, can you see the questions on the screen?
Yes, Shanmugam.
Why, Soyad? Why you cannot see the screen? No questions, no sir, no. Just check it. Just minimize and maximize the zoom window once if you are not able to see. Manasa and Soyad. You can start, guys. Okay. Just rejoin, guys. If you are not able to see, just rejoin. Not sure after rejoining you're able to see, but just try it once. Okay. If not, that's okay. No issues. Someone already done. Very good. Raviteja Ramneni. Good. Guys, only 19 people answered till now. Around 10 people has to answer, guys. Please participate in the quiz. Whatever you know, you can just mark it. No issues. Are you able to see quiz window on your screen or just a server you can see, guys?
We can just see the server.
Server.
Okay, done. Got it. So 21. Still 8 more people has to respond. Please respond quickly, guys. We'll start the session. We have only 40 seconds left. $30. 2 more people has to answer. Two more people has to answer. 10 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. Okay, I'm going to end the quiz. Right, okay. So let me share the results. Okay. And before that, let's discuss the questions, guys. So what is the command to see the version of SQL Server? What is the command to see the version of SQL Server? Select @ version will give you the version of SQL Server. 24 people answered correctly. So remaining 3 people, okay, so they selected first option, select star from version, so which is incorrect, guys, and someone selected SP Who2, which is also incorrect. Command to see the edition of the SQL Server. Here people, most of the people are confused here.
Can you show the screen, Sean, please?
Actually, I'll share the results, but this quiz window I cannot share. Quiz window I cannot share.
Okay.
Yeah. So there
Okay.
is no option to share the quiz window. Let me check, is there any other option? Relaunch
No
poll,
worries. Thank you.
view results from browser. Okay. So let me open this view results from browser. So let's see if it is able to visible from the browser, then that will be fine. I'm just launching from browser. Let's see. Okay. Just a minute, it's launching. Okay, it's asking. Just a minute, let me add this. One minute. Right now you are able to see the screen, guys. Answers.
No, sir.
No, the sign in the screen to
Now?
Zoom.
Yeah, now
Okay.
yes, we
just
can.
just come up. Yeah.
Done. Okay, so the first question you can see 24 people answered correctly. Select at the rate version. Okay, is the correct answer, guys. So the next one is command to see the addition of SQL Server. Okay, so most of the people are confused here. Someone mentioned select at the rate server name will give you the SQL Server name. It don't give you the addition and all. Select star from addition. There is no such query. Select star from addition. There is no such query. So four people answered wrong answer and four more wrong answer. Okay. So select at the rate version. When you run at the rate version, it will give you two things. One is version of the SQL Server and edition also. If you expand that output, you can see version and edition also in the same select at the rate version output. Okay. So the correct answer is select at the rate version. Who is someone selected SP? Who is edition? Not sure. Someone googled it or what? Not sure. There is no such query, guys. Okay. Right, command to create a database. This is actually select query, guys. Listen carefully. Select will only read. Okay, nothing will do. Select means read operation. Select again, read operation. I'm asking command to create. Create means it's a write operation. So the command should starts with create only. So 5 people selected this option. 5 people, 19, almost 20% people selected this command. Select star from databases don't give you anything. It will give you the wrong syntax. We don't have select star from databases. We have select star from sys.databases is there, but there is no databases. So 20% people answered wrongly, and someone answered, 2 people answered create database, database name, database. This is also wrong answer. Reverse way, reverse order. Create database, database name. Okay. So this is also wrong answer. And create new database, database name. There is no new option. So this is the correct answer, guys. Create database, database name is the correct answer. So 17 people answered correctly, 63%. Okay, fine. So how many files will be created when you create a new database? Okay, generally 2 files will be created, guys. So 18 people answered correctly, and 5 people answered 1 file. Okay, so no way. All by default, whenever you create any new database, so it should create 2 files, guys. One is data file, one is log file. Today we'll discuss what is the importance of each file, why we should have 2 files. 3 files, okay, so no one selected 3 files, that's fine. And 4 people selected 4 files. What are those 4 files? You added 2 more files. Why 4 files? Any reason? 4 files. Okay, so this is wrong answer, guys. 4 files. Correct answer is 2 files will be created. So what is the physical hierarchy of SQL Server? In the last class we discussed. Okay, so in the instances we will have databases. In the databases, file groups and log files will be there. In the file groups, inside the file groups, if you go, data files will be there. Inside the data files, if you go, extents will be there. Inside the extents, if you go, pages will be there. Page is the basic storage unit of SQL Server. So 3 people answered the first option, which is wrong answer, and around 16 people answered second option, which is correct answer. And one person selected this inside database files extents, that is wrong answer. And 6 people answered inside database instance, direct tables and pages. So this is not direct. Okay, so inside database again we'll have file group concept, files concept. So inside tables, pages won't be there, right? Inside pages, tables will be there, but inside pages, tables won't be there. So this is wrong answer. Okay, so 6 people answered wrongly. So what is the size of the page? So a lot of people confused here. 8 MB, someone selected, 2 people selected 8 MB, wrong answer. 8 GB, 3 people selected 8 GB, wrong answer. 8 KB is the correct answer. 20 people selected correct answer. And 2 people selected 8 bits, that is also wrong answer. Extent is collection of 8 records. 2 people selected 8 records, which is wrong answer. 8 files, 1 person selected wrong answer. Extent is a collection of 8 pages, which is correct answer. 21 people selected correct answer. And 8 file groups is also wrong answer. Okay, so total 27 people answered. Okay, so 2 people they didn't answer, not sure why. So again guys, these are very important questions, and also you should make sure you are very much okay. What I can say, you should have knowledge on these basic questions and all, very important questions these are. Right, okay, so let's start the session. Before starting the session, any questions, any doubts guys? Any questions, any doubts? Okay, fine. So the server is started guys, let's connect to the server remotely. Okay, so let me try connecting to the server. So guys, we'll plan one separate session. So who is going to take care of that session, I'll tell you. Okay, so we have participants from US as well. Okay, so we have participants from US as well. So I want to make use of you guys. Nini, Yasin, Abhi, Joshua, Sion. Okay, so I hope you people are connecting from US, right? So I need your help guys. So we'll plan 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 sessions. Okay, so guys, the plan is very simple. They'll talk something and you have to write down what they are talking. Clear? Is it clear guys?
One more time.
When would that be? What time?
we'll plan, Nini. Okay, so very
Okay.
simple. You people, why? Because generally as a DBA, sometimes we have to talk with the clients guys regularly. Every day we have to hand over it to US clients, we have to hand over it to UK clients. In case if any work is there, you have to hand over it to US UK clients. So you should be, at least you should be in a position to understand the words, at least if not all completely, at least 2 3 words, so that you can rephrase it based on the words they are using. You can rephrase it. So that's why I'm doing this exercise. So Nini, Abhi, Joshua and Sion, these 4 people are from US. So I'll take extra sessions, maybe weekends I'll plan, or depends upon the okay, maybe continuous session itself, I'll plan one weekday only. So they are going to talk something and you have to write down what they are talking. Okay, is it fine guys?
Okay.
Is that okay for you?
Yes.
Yeah,
problem.
Raviteja Ramneni, you're also from US, but the US accent, okay? So now you are like normal Indian accent you will use, Raviteja. US accent, Nini and Abhi, Joshua and Sian, they are going to use US accent, right? So that's why, okay? Yeah, fine. Guys, is it fine for you, everyone?
Yes.
Oh,
I
yes,
hope
yes,
it is.
Shanmugam.
No problem.
Okay, thank you.
Shan, I think I'm missing something. What are we exactly doing?
Nothing, you have to talk something, Nini, so they have to understand, they have to write down what you are talking.
Who writes down?
No,
The rest of the class?
students has to write down. Yeah, Sudarshan, I'm opening the link. So nothing, Nini. So very simple. So you will talk something, right? Like how you are talking now, how you are asking now. In the same way, you will talk
Okay.
to the students. You will talk to the students like our friends, colleagues now who are there in this
Okay.
batch. You will talk to them. They have to write what you are talking, what you are asking, and all.
Okay.
You got my point?
All right. Yes.
Yeah, just
Thank you.
get an idea about US Ascent and also get an idea to my students. Okay, so I'm just
Right.
asking
Right.
1-2 sessions from you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No worries. Thank you.
Thank you all guys.
Yeah. Mhm.
Recording in progress.
Yeah, thank you guys. So let's continue. And this is my server. So where is my server? Yeah, this is the one. Right. Let me open Management Studio. So today what we are going to discuss, guys. So in the last class we discussed about the hierarchy, like how the things will be organized in the SQL Server, how the databases will be, how pages will be organized, how tables will be organized, okay, and how to create a new database, what will happen when you create a new database, what will happen in the back end when you create a new database, how many files will be created, where they are going to be created, how to create database in GUI, how to create database in CUI using command. So all these things we discussed in the last class. So we discussed like when you create a database, two files will be created. But what is the use of those two files? Why two files? Why not one file? Okay, so what each file will do? Let's discuss this now, guys. Once this is done, then we'll step into another topic. Okay. So for that, let me open this drive again so that I'm going to show you how the things will work, how it is going to write the data to the disk and all. Okay. So when you create a database, by default, two files will be created, one data file and one log file. Log, L-O-G, log. I hope you know the meaning of logbook. What is meant by logbook, guys? What is meant by logbook?
It's like a register book.
Register kind of stuff. Okay, it's like a register kind of stuff. For example, you went to meet your friend who is staying in an apartment. So when you're entering into the apartment, the security guard will be there with one book, and he'll ask you to enter your details. So he'll ask your name, your phone number, your ID card, something like that. That time, okay, like when you are in the apartment and when you are out from your apartment and all. So you have to write down everything. It's a kind of log, right? When you go to any library, generally what you have to do, guys, if you are using public library and all, what you have to do? You will take some books, right? So in the log book, you have to write down your name, your ID card number, your membership number, and you have to mention your books names, what and all books you are taking, on which date you are taking. Okay, so in case if any fines are there, you have to mention everything. So the logbook that is there in the library will give you all the details about you, right? So when you took the book, how many books are with you, how many fines are there on you, right? When you are going to return the books, what and all books you are having, what is your membership card, okay, everything it is going to carry, guys, with a single record, right? That is called a log file. Log file means which is going to write each and everything into the log book, or log file means it is going to write each and everything. Okay, so when you create a database, what will happen, guys? When you create a database, it will create two files, guys. When you create a database, it will create two files. Imagine this is your Windows machine. Okay, so imagine this is your Windows machine, guys, Windows server. Okay. Sorry, guys. Right, so this is your SQL server. Okay, imagine this is your SQL server. So in the SQL server, when you create a database, automatically it will create two files. Okay. So database, when you create a database in the SQL server, it will create two files, right? It will create two files. So your application will be connected to the database, right? Your application, whatever database, let me do one thing. Okay. Instead of this, I'm going to use this as a SQL server. Okay. Right. So this is the SQL server. Inside the SQL server, we have the database. Bring forward, yeah, fine. So this is the application. Gear symbol. Yeah, this is the application. Something like Amazon.com. So this is the application, and this application is connected to this database, Amazon database. Okay, so this is your Amazon database. Right. So this database, when you create this database, two files will be created, right? One is data file, second one is log file. So data file, okay, disk. Let me go with the drive. Drive. Let's go with one drive. One hard disk. Right. Okay. So this is the hard disk, guys. This is the hard disk. Now listen carefully. So when you create a database, two files will be created. Okay. So one is data file. What this data file will do? It is going to store the data permanently. Data file will store the data permanently. Okay. So data file, what it will do, guys, it is going to store the data permanently, guys. What log file will do? Log file will store the data temporarily. What log file will do? Log file will store the data temporarily. So this is the application. It is coming like this. Okay, from your application one record is coming. Someone bought one. Let me delete this. Yeah, let me take this. Very simple, guys, don't worry. Okay, so I'll try to simplify it using these diagrams, so nothing to worry. So now you bought one record here. Okay, so one something what you bought, guys. Okay, let's go with phone. Okay, Apple iPhone you bought. Apple iPhone 14. Okay, and cost is something like that, 1 lakh. Okay, and who bought this one? Something Suresh. Let's go with Suresh only. Okay, so when you bought this, when you buy anything from the Amazon, it will create a record, right? So this record will pass like this. It will pass like this, and where it will go, guys? First it will go to the log file. Listen carefully. Where it will go? First it will go to the log file. Okay. Sometimes you don't see that diagrams. Log file. One minute. In the last batch, I used some relevant icons. Okay, let me open this one. Right. Right. Yeah. Okay. So this is the application Amazon.in, and you bought something here, guys. So if you see here, that record will go to this database. So you bought something trimmer. Okay. You bought a trimmer, guys. So you bought trimmer from the Amazon.in. So the record will create, and first it will go to the database. Database means first it don't go to data file, guys. First it will go to the log file. Okay, listen carefully. First the record. Always the records will go to the log file first. Always the records will go to the log file first. This log file and data file both will be stored in the drive only. This is your drive. This is your application. From the application you will get the data. So in the where it will store in the drive, right? In the drive you will have two files. One is log file, one is data file. So when you bought anything, Okay, what will happen, one record will be created and the record will goes to database. So where it will go in the database, we have two files, right? First that record will goes to the log file. First it will goes to the log file. Okay, now listen carefully. So once it reaches log file is a temporary storage area. We have two files, right? Data file, which is permanent storage area. Log file is a temporary storage area. Okay, log file is a temporary storage area, guys. So when you commit the record, there is a different states of the transactions, committed transactions, uncommitted transactions and all. Commit means like now if I am writing something in this notepad, this is untitled notepad, not yet saved. If I want to save, I am going to use Control S. What will happen, guys, if I don't save? Generally what will happen, tell me? If I don't save and I shut down the laptop, what will happen?
Disappear.
The data will be gone, right? The data and all will be deleted. The notepad will be deleted. But if the system is up and running, you can see the data. But if you close it, or if you restart your system, or if you shut down your system, you cannot see this data. This is temporarily stored data. This is temporarily stored data. So you can see until it is up and running. When you close it, or when you restart the server, when you restart the application, if you don't save this data, it will be gone. You cannot see this data. In the same way, log file is a temporary storage area. First log record will goes to the log file. Why? Because lot of people will buy lot of things, right? Every time, imagine in a minute it is going to execute 10,000 transactions or 1 lakh transactions in a minute. In a minute, Amazon will execute 1 lakh transactions, either buying or selling or adding the records or returns, whatever it is. Okay, everything. Every 1 minute it is going to order, it is going to execute 1 lakh records. That 1 lakh records, it cannot write immediately. Writing 1 lakh records will take time, right? It might take 5 minutes or 10 minutes, right? Writing 1 lakh records will take time. It might take 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 1 hour also, not sure. But in between, if power gone, what will happen? Whatever 1 lakh records are there, you are going to lose the data. So that's why how Microsoft designed is, chalo, let's store the data temporarily in the log file. So whatever data comes, it will go to the log file. First, it will go to the log file. So in the log file, again, we have committed transactions, uncommitted transactions. If transaction is committed, what log file will do? Log file will move that record to the data file. So once the data is moved to the data file, so the data will be safe, guys. Even though if your server is restarted, still nothing will happen. After restart, see the same thing. If I save this notepad and if I restart my laptop, after restart also I can see. So log file is a temporary storage area until the data is going to be moved to the data file. Temporarily, the log file will be stored. The log file will store the transactions inside that file. Once the transaction is committed, what log file will do? That log file will send the transaction from the, see guys, now you cannot see this record in the log file, right? Why? Because what it will do? It will cut paste. It will cut paste, guys. It will not do any copy paste. It will do cut paste. So what will happen? The same log record will be deleted from the log file automatically. So there will be a free space. Is it clear, guys? So log file will be a reusable file. Log file is a reusable file. How they are going to reuse, guys? How the Microsoft is going to reuse this log file? Whatever transaction comes, first the transaction will be stored inside the log file. If this transaction is committed, then the committed data will goes to the data file permanently. Once the record is moved to the data file, then whatever record is there in the log files, those records, the committed data will be truncated. Truncate means what? I'll tell you, okay? Later, truncate means it's a kind of delete operation. Why? Because it was permanently stored in the data file. Now we don't need this record in the log file. So log file, what it will do? It will truncate. So in that way it will reuse that space of the log file. So that's why if you see log file today, it will be 1 GB, tomorrow it will be 100 GB, day after tomorrow or after 1 hour it can be 1 GB again. Why? Because log file is a reusable file. Data file is not like that. Okay, today if it is 1 GB, tomorrow it can be 10 GB or 20 GB. It will keep increasing unless if you perform any delete operations, but the data file will keep increasing. Whereas your log file will be stored temporarily. It is a reusable file. So today it might be 100 GB. In the next minute we can make it as 1 GB. Why? Because the 100 GB data written to the data file, what is the use of the 100 GB again? It will truncate that 100 GB data from the log file. So the log file can be reused for other transactions. So it will welcome, log file will welcome other transactions. In that way it can reuse the transactions. That is the main advantage of the log file, guys. Log file is a reusable file, first point. Log file will store the transactions temporarily, second point. Log file is going to move the committed records to the data file, third point. Once the data is committed permanently, then log file will truncate the log records from the log file, fourth point. Log file is a reusable file, of course, same point. So these are the main points of the log file, guys. Clear?
Sir, who will be committing the transaction?
Automatically. So while giving the transaction, we can itself commit. Okay, so we can, while developers are, when you are giving data from the application side, so automatically after every transaction one commit query will run. Okay, at the end of the transaction one commit query will run. So if you are ready to commit, or if you gave instructions to the application to commit the records, automatically the log files will be, the log records will be committed. Okay, we can whatever like log records are committing. Okay, so we can give in two ways. One is committed transactions and uncommitted transactions. If you give committed transactions, automatically whatever operations we discussed, okay, whatever things we discussed, that will be done automatically. No one will do. Why? Because thousands of log files, thousands of data files will be there. Who will do every time? Who is going to commit every time? So when you are running the transaction itself, you can give commit command. Okay, automatically the log records will be committed. So this will be an automatic process. Okay,
Right, sir.
any questions, guys? Here very simple. Log file is a temporary file, data file is a permanent file, guys. Permanent, like log file is a kind of your RAM. Until the data is going to be processed, it will store in the RAM. Once the data is processed, it will go to the hard disk, right? So hard disk is your permanent storage area. The data will be stored permanently. But when you restart your particular laptop, automatically the RAM and all will be cleared. In the same way, until the data is going to be committed to the data file, temporarily the data will be stored in the log file. So once the data is committed to the data file, the same data will be truncated from the log file automatically. Okay, so this is the importance of log file and data file, guys. Slowly you'll get to know. Okay, so let's connect to the SQL server. In the last class we discussed how to create a database. I'm sorry. Today we'll discuss how to create tables, small tables, how to create, how to insert records, okay, and how to read the data from the table, and how to apply the where conditions, how to filter the records. All these things will be discussed in today's class, guys. Okay, right. So now I created one database, right? So I created lot of databases, PhonePe, Telegram, WhatsApp, different databases I created. So what I will do, I am going to create one table. If you want to create a table, if you want to write a new query, how we can write the query, guys? Where we can write the query, how we can write the query?
First, we have to select the
New
database.
query.
Right,
Uh,
okay. So listen carefully, guys. I can select this option new query, or I can use keyboard shortcut Control plus N. So let's go with the new query option. Okay, so let's go with the new query option. So now listen carefully. I am going to create one table. Okay, so what I'll do now, I'll create one table now. So what table I'll create? I want to create table, right? Create. What I want to do, I want to create. What you want to create? Table I want to create. Table name I have to give, right? Every object will have its own name, right? I have to give one table name. So what I'll do, WhatsApp contacts, something like that. Okay, WhatsApp contacts, right? So this is the table name. Guys, generally when you are creating any tables, you will include some columns, right? Generally when you are creating any tables, you are going to include some columns, right? So now I have to include some columns. What and all columns I want to include, I will mention here. So contact ID, this is one column. Okay, so for example, now you just want to buy something, guys. You want to buy milk. Okay, you want to buy milk. So what you will ask, guys? You will go to the shop and what you will ask? You want to buy milk, guys. How you will ask? How you will ask, guys?
How much
quantity of
Quantity, right? You have to ask the quantity, like 1 liter milk or 2 liters milk. You have to ask the quantity, right? So generally, liter is the measurement of the milk, right? So this is how you are going to measure. If it is any items and all, you have to measure in weight, like kgs. Okay, like this we are going to measure. So like this liters, kgs, meters, centimeters, kilometers, like these are the measurements, right? Units, I can say units. So in that way, I have to, if I am mentioning about the milk, I have to ask 1 liter milk. I cannot ask 1 kg milk. Hey, can you please give me 1 kg milk? No, that is not a proper unit that you have to ask. You have to ask a proper unit. Okay, if you are asking oil, you have to ask like either kg, 1 kg oil or 1 liter oil, like that you are going to ask, right? So for every item we will have some units. In the same way, whatever columns you are including in the table, every column will have unit. That unit is called data type. What is that, guys? Data type. So contact ID, ID is number, generally it will be numbers, right? So if you want to give numbers, you have to mention integer. Why? Because this is the unit, guys. For contact ID, hey, contact ID is one column. Okay, chalo, no problem. What kind of data you want me to insert in contact ID? SQL Server is asking, okay, chalo, no problem. You created one table with contact ID. What type of data you want me to insert in this column? The type of data, that is called data type. Okay, for every column you have to mention data type, comma, contact name. This will also one data type, right? That is called your varchar 100. Char, varchar, lot of data types are there. And location. Okay, location. Location is also kind of varchar 100. Okay, so varchar 100. So when you are mentioning about varchar, you have to close, you have to give some value and you have to close that, guys, and you have to close here. Why? Because to close this, you have to close extra bracket, you have to give 100. You just open this bracket and you just closed it, right? So you open this bracket, so you have to close, right? So that's why I'm giving extra bracket. So now I am just creating one table with three simple columns. And listen carefully. Generally in the organization, we don't create any tables. As a DBA, it's not our responsibility. Who will create? Generally, we'll get it from application, either from application or developers will create the tables and all. And don't expect the small tables will be there in the organization. Very big complex tables will be there. So you should know this is a create table statement. Okay, these are the table names, these are the columns, these are the data types. Just to get a basic idea, I am just creating a small table, guys. Okay, I am creating a small table. So right now I am going to execute this query. Where I have to execute this query, guys? So if I execute this query now, what will happen? What will happen if I execute this query?
Table created.
Table will be created. Can anyone tell me where it will be created?
In
Master.
master database.
Right, correct answer, guys. So you have to remember one thing very carefully, guys. If you are writing somewhere, make it a star mark. Very, 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 very important. Whenever you are executing a query, always double check where you are executing, on which database you are executing this query. Where to check? Here also you can check. Here also you can check. If you execute this query now, this table will be created in the master database. but I want to create this table in the WhatsApp database. I want to create table in the WhatsApp database. Instead of that, if I execute this query blindly, this table will be created in the master. Why? Because you are executing this query on the master database, right? So on which database you are executing query, so the objects will be created in that particular database or deleted. If it is a delete query, it will be deleted from that particular database. If it is an insert query, it will be inserted. If it is an update query, it will be updated. If it is a create query, it will be created, guys. Very careful, guys. If you are unable to get this point, if you are unable to recollect this point while creating any objects, definitely it will be escalated to higher levels. And why? Because that's okay. If you create, nothing will happen. Later we can delete. But by mistake, if you delete any object, instead of selecting one database, you selected another database and blindly you run once delete query. If it's delete main production table, who is responsible, guys? You are the responsible. If you do such kind of mistakes, you are going to lose your job. I know a lot of people, those who wrongly executed queries on wrong databases, so it went to like higher authorities. So very important, very important, whenever you are executing a query, always keep an eye on which database you are executing. Even experienced people also, sometimes they are going to do mistakes like this. They will simply create one table and they are going to execute this. What will happen? Automatically the table will be created, or if it is a delete query, the table will be deleted from the another database. So you have to be very careful about this, guys. Okay, you have to make sure before executing, there is a beside itself execute button, you can see database. Just before clicking this button, just check on which database I am clicking, whether I am executing on right database or not. So now I want to change the database. In many ways we can change it. You can select this database and you can choose WhatsApp. That is one way. Or you can use query method also. Use database name. Okay. Use database name. You can also use this option and you can execute now. And again see WhatsApp will be changed to master automatically. Okay. So now I want to execute this query in WhatsApp, right? Use WhatsApp. I am going to use this query, use WhatsApp. And again I am going to click Alt X. See, this master will be changed to WhatsApp. See, I am executing this query. See, it was changed to WhatsApp. I want to create this table in the WhatsApp database. So make sure that you are creating this table in the WhatsApp database, and make sure while executing any query, whether you are executing that query on a right database or not. So otherwise it will be very difficult for you guys. If you do such kind of mistakes 2-3 times, that's it. That will be your end of your job. So please be careful while executing the queries, guys. Okay. So now you can see WhatsApp. I am not yet, I have not yet created the tables. If I create any tables, I can see the tables here. So before creating itself, I am going to show you, I don't see any tables here, right? So now let me execute this query. Okay. So select this. I want to execute only this query, guys. So I just selected this line and I am going to execute this. Right, table is created. So where I can see the table, refresh it. So you can see the new table. See, WhatsApp contacts is created. Okay, so now I want to see what and all records are there in this table. How to see, guys? I want to see what and all records are there in this table. How to see? We can use one query. See, I want to see means I want to read the data. To read operation, which query will use? Select query. Select. What you want to do? Yeah, I want to read all the records in this table. All means star. Star will select all the columns. Technically it will select all the columns. Star from where? From WhatsApp contacts. Okay, this is my table name. So you have to choose WhatsApp contacts and select and all text. So now you can see the table name and you can see all the columns that we created here. Contact ID, contact name, location. But you don't see any records, guys. Why I cannot see any records? Why, guys?
We still not showed any record.
Yes, we haven't inserted any records. Okay, we have to insert some records, right? So now let's insert the records. Please be muted, I'm getting echo sound. So insert, what query we'll use, guys? We'll use insert query. Insert into Where I want to insert table name. What is the table name? WhatsApp contact.
Yes, sir.
Right? And what you want to insert? I want to insert some values. Okay, open the brackets. First one, contact name, something called Smith. Okay, Smith, and location is from US. When you are giving, okay, 1 minute, let me check who is that. Putting some echo sound, guys. Truncate I'll explain, Swati, don't worry, okay? Truncate I'll explain. At this stage, no need to discuss about the truncate and all. First, let's create, then we'll destroy later, okay? No issues now. Right, I'll explain, you don't worry about the truncate and all. Right. So, now you are going to insert the records, right? So, now if you are trying to insert the records, you have to include the columns. Whatever columns are there, you have to include this. One contact ID. For contact ID I am giving 1, and for contact name I am giving Smith, and for location I am giving US, guys. Whatever country it is I am just giving. Okay. So I inserted 3 columns. See, 3 columns, 1, 2, 3 columns. Okay. So for that I have to give 3 values. Someone asked, sir, who will give commit command? This is actually one command. See, let me show you. When you are executing any command, the SQL server will add begin tran before the transaction, and it will automatically add commit. Okay, it will automatically add commit, guys. Listen carefully. When you don't need to give these 2 values. Why? Because if you give like this or if you give like this, both are same. Got my point? If you just give a single line, SQL server will add this parameter. I told you right last time, when you are creating database, you are giving one line command, create database name. But we have seen how many lines are there. 82 lines are there to create a database. Who is giving 81 lines, remaining 81 lines? Your SQL server is adding those parameters while creating the database. In the same way, when you are executing this query, okay, this is like a SQL server will add begin tran before the transaction and commit at the end of the transaction. Automatically it will add. Automatically SQL server will add begin tran and commit before the transaction. Sir, uncommitted transaction, just give begin tran. If you give begin tran, that means SQL server will understand. Until you give commit, it don't add. If you don't give begin tran and commit, it will add automatically. But if you give begin tran and if you are not giving commit, it don't add. Why? Because SQL server knows this is uncommitted transaction. So SQL server don't add. Either don't add anything. If you add begin tran, then SQL server it don't add commit. It will wait whether you are going to add it or not. It don't add commit. That's why this is called uncommitted transaction. Committed and uncommitted transaction this is. So until you are going to commit this transaction, this will stay in the log file only. So in the log file, the whole transaction will be stored, guys. I want to tell you one more thing. I'm sorry. In the log file, whole transaction will be stored. Okay, whole transaction will be stored. So, but when the transaction is committed, only the log record. This is the log record. Okay. So when the transaction is committed, SQL server will move the data, only this data to the data file. That's it, guys. It will move only data. So this is called transaction, and that is the data that is there in the transaction is called data. You can see here, right? So in the log file, it will store the whole transaction, but whereas in the data file, it will store only the data. It don't store whole transaction. Why it will store? You might ask, sir, why it is going to store all the transactions? Why? Because if something went wrong in between, if someone restarted the SQL server in between, if someone shut down the SQL server in between, then you cannot miss this data, right? So that's why there is a mechanism called redo and undo. Redo and undo. So what SQL server will do when you restart the SQL server, whatever uncommitted transactions are there, again it is going to redo, guys. Again, redo. reapply the transactions. To reapply, again you should have this data, right? To insert command and all you should have, right? To reapply the same transaction, you should have the whole transaction, right? So that's why your log file will store the whole transaction. It will store the transaction value, it will store the command, it will store the database name, it will store the LSN number, log sequence number, what not. Around 118 values it will store, 108, sorry, around 108 values it will store in your log file. But in your data file, only the simple record, whatever record is there, it will store only the record. It don't store the whole transaction. Why? Because data file need only data. The name itself is saying data file. Inside this transaction, what is data? These three values are data. So that's why it will store only data. Once the data is committed to the data file, then this transaction will be deleted. Why? Because now log file get a acknowledgement. Hey, okay, this transaction moved to the data file successfully. So let's truncate this transaction from the log file. Okay, so for redo purpose and undo purpose, what it will do, guys, it will store the whole transaction in the log file, whereas in the data file only data will be stored. Okay, so this is how the things will be organized. So if you don't give commit, SQL Server will wait for the commit from your side. It don't add manually. But if you don't give begin tran and commit, it will add begin tran and it will. Why? Because SQL Server knows this is a default committed transaction. So automatically it will add, it will commit this transaction. So now if you execute this query, one row affected means, if you see the table now, you can see one row. Okay, 1 Smith US. If you want to insert more records, okay, you can add more records to, okay, and what we can say, Sharath, okay, to Sharath from India, okay, and like this you can add multiple records. Control V, Control V, Control Z, enter, Control V. So like this you can add multiple records, you can insert multiple records and all. Third record, something like Peter, okay, so from, sorry, this is India, right? India, okay, Peter from UK, okay, and this is fourth record, okay, and let's add something, any record name, guys, any record name. Okay, let me add this one, Kamath from India, okay, right. So like this we can insert all records at a time by selecting all transactions, and we can run all at a time, guys. Okay, so now if you see, earlier we inserted one query, one record, now we inserted 3 records, total 4 records will be there. See, first record, second record, first record, second record, third record, fourth record. These are the records, guys. The highlighted one, the horizontal entity is called a record. The vertical entity is called columns or fields. Columns or fields. The horizontal entity is called row or record. The horizontal entity is called row or record. Okay, so this is how. So now I want to run this query for 100 times. How to run? I want to run this query for 100 times. How, guys? Is there any way?
Go.
Yes. Okay, so what we have to add, we have to simply add, please be muted. Okay, so we have to simply add go 100. If you want to add 100 times, if you want to run the same set 100 times, you have to add 100. If you want to run it for 1000 times, you have to run for 1000. If you want to run for 10,000 times, all the transactions, whatever transactions are there, will run for 10,000 times, guys. Okay, so now I am going to run for 100 times. Okay, so select all this. Every record will run for 100 times, so you will get 300 records now. I am executing. Right now it is writing the data. See how much time it is taking to write the data? Hardly 3 seconds. To write 300 records, it just took 3 seconds. Okay, now if you execute the same, select star from WhatsApp contact. See how many records? Earlier 4 records, now 300 records, total 304 records are inserted inside the database. Clear guys? Creating a table, inserting the records and reading the data from the table. Is it clear everyone? Clear guys? Any questions here please?
It's clear.
So one thing I want to ask.
Yes please.
So in the left pane, when you created the table, it says that DBO dot WhatsApp contacts. Right?
Hmm.
How is it different from other like graph tables and external tables?
How it is different? So graph table, external tables and all these we don't use it. So okay, when you create a user tables, user defined tables, okay, so you can see under the table section we don't use graph tables, external tables, file tables, system tables. When you create any database, automatically sometimes, not every time, if any system tables, if you want to give, if SQL Server wants to add any system tables, this will be added. So file tables, external tables, graph tables, even I also didn't use it till now, to be frank. Okay, so this is the user defined table. Like when the users creates the table, automatically the table will be created. And when you see here, before this table, we have one more object called DBO. What is
Yeah.
this object? What is this object? So last
Schema.
time, yes, very good. Last time we discussed the physical hierarchy of the table. Physical hierarchy, what is the physical hierarchy? Instance, inside instance database, inside database file groups and log files, inside file groups you will have the extents, inside extents you will have the pages, right? What is the logical hierarchy guys? Logical hierarchy is instance, inside instance database, inside database schema, inside schema your tables. This is the logical, this is how logically it will store. Instance, under that database, under that particular database, you'll have schema. Schema is nothing but a container kind of thing. Schema is a container, okay, where it will store all the tables. It's kind of a container. So by default, if you don't create schema, SQL Server will itself create a default schema. That schema name is called DBO. If you want to create manually, you have to give query create schema name. That's it. Create schema name. So sometimes if you don't select a particular schema, also you don't get the results properly. Okay, you have to select. Why? Because your table is created in that container, logical container. So if you created one table in the something sales container and you are searching your data in the DBO container, you don't get the output. Why? Because you gave the wrong container name. So you have to give the proper container. If you don't give the container name, by default it will take DBO is the schema name. So here I didn't give the schema name, but still it will take DBO as a default schema name. Okay, so again I'm saying, while creating anything or while dropping anything, it's mandatory to select on which database you are doing that transaction. Okay, so if you created this WhatsApp contact, see here, now let me show you. So when I execute this from Telegram, so when I execute this query, what will happen guys? What will happen when I run this select.com query?
Table will be created for
It will the table will be created in table.
It will display all the rows and columns.
Are you sure it will display all the rows and columns?
Data, yeah, sure.
Sure.
It won't exist.
You're sure, 100% sure.
Yeah, sure.
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 Yes, sure.
Sure.
Then why I'm getting error?
Database name.
You are giving the database name.
That's what I'm asking. Very simple. Okay, so generally we will have this tendency, we'll do like this only. We'll come from outside, whatever bike keys are there, we'll throw either in the hall or in bedroom. We don't know where we'll keep it. While going again, we'll search the whole home. If possible, we'll search the whole apartment also.
Table created in WhatsApp database.
That's it. Your table is
You have
created.
you're searching from Telegram, I guess.
Yes. I'm searching from Telegram. I
Yeah.
created my object in the WhatsApp, but I'm searching. I lost my keys in my home. I am searching in another home, which is wrong, right? So I kept my keys in my home. I have to search in my home, but I'm searching in another home. Okay, so which is completely wrong. So that's why again, while running the queries, you have to make sure on which database you are executing these queries. That's why I told you, in case you are giving one presentation to the client, that is your first day or second day, you are simply showing something to your colleague, and by mistake you selected or you didn't check on which database you are running the query. That's it. That colleague will get a doubt that whether you are a real time, whether you are a genuine DBA or a fake DBA. Very simple. Don't think genuine DBAs will don't do these mistakes. They will also do. But the initial impression, right? Whatever initial impression is there, you just join newly. So on everyone, first 1 2 months they will have one eye on you. They will put up one eye on you. So they will see how you are performing, how you are talking, what and all things you are doing in the organization. So if you do small mistakes also, immediately they are going to highlight and immediately they are going to escalate to higher authorities. So this guy, he don't know anything, he's a fake DBA. So very important, whenever again you are running the queries, on which database you are running, you have to keep checking. And before checking, first check the database name, then only you run the queries. Someone said 4 5 times I asked, he is very sure, very sure, very sure, very sure. But why we got the error? Okay, so that's how the things will be there in the organization. So be careful while executing any queries, whether it is, if it is select query, hardly you will get an error. But imagine if it is a delete query, instead of one database you deleted table from another database, what will happen? What will happen, guys? Very dangerous, right? So that's why before running any query, you have to check on which database you are running. Sometimes what developers will do, guys, is there any other way without changing the database name here, without running this query here? Is there any other way that I can pull this table details? I want to pull this table details, guys. What are the ways we can use to pull without changing the database name here, without running this query? Use WhatsApp. What are the other ways we have?
In front of table name, we can give that database name dot.
Instead of in front of table name, okay, so I can give like this, guys. Okay, sometimes developers will write scripts like this. Okay, so you should be able to understand. So how I can give, guys? Select star from in which database your table is created. WhatsApp dot is enough, huh? That's it, huh?
DBO dot.
Right,
DBA.
I have to give database name dot schema name dot table name. So sometimes your developers are going to write the scripts like this. See, I didn't change the database name, I didn't run this command, still I am able to get the details. Why? Because I gave the complete name. The complete table name is database name dot schema name dot table name. So if you are very sure about the database name, schema name, guys, you can run like queries like this. But if you are not sure in which database, I mean, of course, you should be sure, then only you can execute that query, right? So always, if you are not sure with this, if you are not comfortable, always use this database and select the database, or you can use this command. Is there any other way other than this table name? Is there any other way to get the same details?
By script outing table,
What you will script out the table?
right click on table and script out the 1000 records.
Okay, selecting 1000 records, top 1000 records. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other way other than this? Any other name is there for the same table? Any other name is there? Okay, so if your table is stored inside the DBO schema, no need to mention DBO schema. It will take default schema. So mention just a database name dot dot table name will also give you the output. If it is default schema, if it is named schema and all, it don't allow you. As DBO is the default schema, if you give dot dot in between, it will treat DBO schema is there. So you're able to get the output. Only for DBO schema, this will work. So you can give the database name dot dot table name also will give you the same output, but the table should be created in the default schema. Is it clear, guys? Selecting the records in all possible ways. Is it clear?
Shamukh, I have a doubt.
Yes, please.
We will be creating a database only the existing database, or we will be creating a new one?
No, we are creating. See here, we used the same database, right? Did I created any new database now? No, right? I am using the same database. Inside the database, I am creating already. Already the object is created from the. As the object is created, then only I am able to read the records from that object. Okay, so I am not creating any new database now. There is no query to create any new database here. Simply, I am reading the data from the existing database. To read it, I have to use this query. Select means read operation. Select means read operation. Create, insert, update, delete. These four are write operations. So every time no need to see, very simple here. You want to read one table, why again you will create a database for that? You know right in which database the table is present. You will simply open the database. You are going to execute that query. That's it.
Okay, for already existing database, we will write the queries.
That's it. Select queries. Select queries.
Okay.
Insert, update, delete queries and all depends. Generally insert also for existing only you can insert. Create means for it might be a new database or it might be in an existing database also you can create the objects. So don't confuse here. See, you want to read the tables. When you can read the tables, if table is existed, then only you can read, right? If it is not existed, you cannot read, right? Where it can be existed generally in a database, right? Tables always will be created in a database, right? So you have to open the existing database. You cannot create new database to read. Okay.
Okay.
So as it is our new practice, so I am just showing how to create, how to insert, how to update and all. But don't confuse, don't be confused here. So very simple, as we have created, whatever created things are there, we are just trying to pull the data from the existing objects. Okay. Okay, fine. Any other questions, guys, here, please? Any other questions are there? No problem, you can ask me. Guys, again, I'm saying don't hesitate to ask the questions. Nothing to worry. Why? Because most of the people are from non-technical background. No one will, okay, will mind like why he is asking this kind of questions and all. Even if they also don't know the answers. That's why they are taking time. Okay? So you don't
Sir, one
hesitate to
question.
ask any question. Yes, please.
Sir, one question.
Yes, please.
Sir, in the log files, is there any scenario where we are asked to like delete or
No. We from the see on the log file we don't perform any type of operations. Directly we don't perform any type of operations in the log file.
so space will be reduced automatically?
Yes, see that is a different part. Okay, that is it. I told you right, committed data, uncommitted data. So if it is a committed data, space will be reduced. Okay, I'll tell you. There is a the separate operation for this that is called shrink operation. At the end of the course, I'll show you how shrink will work. Everything will be discussed. Okay, when it will release the free space, when it will release the empty space and all. So I'll tell you. There is a separate session on this. Okay, but the space will be released, but it won't be released to the disk. To release the unused space to the disk, we have to perform one operation called shrink operation. So what is shrink? How we have to do shrink? In when will shrink the files? Everything will be discussed at the end of the sessions. We have a separate class on shrink. Yeah. Any other questions, guys?
And one more thing, we have wrote a query go 100, right?
Yes, please.
For that, out of some amount of data, we are getting 100 or same?
No.
we will
See,
get
very
100
simple.
times.
No, this whatever data. See, if you select all these things, all these three lines, and if you select the fourth line, all these three lines will execute for 100 times. It's not like we are reading 100 records or 100 times. Whatever queries you are trying to execute, if you add go 100 or go 1000, the same statement. See, for example, I just selected this line and this line, go line also. So only the fourth record will execute for 100 times. Execute, it will insert for 100 times. Okay, don't think you are reading, you are inserting this query for 100 times. Means now I am running, right? One time I am running, execute. Okay, WhatsApp contacts. Okay, let me select this one. See, it is giving an error, invalid object name WhatsApp contacts. I have to choose the database name. Right, I am executing one time, I am executing. See, one time I am executing, done. One row affected means one row inserted. So instead of doing like this, if I use the go 100 for this statement, the same statement will run for 100 times. It will insert 100 commas in that particular table. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys?
For selecting, we don't need to write any
See,
query on it. Directly
not
we can.
required. Yeah, selecting why 100. See, so you are using star, so automatically whatever records are there inside the table, all records you can see if you use star. Okay, for selecting, no need to write go 100 and all. Only for insert, update, delete. So if you want to do, generally we don't write go 100 also, just to give you a small. Okay, you should know the meaning of go, right? So that's why I just added this parameter. So we generally don't use go 100, go 1000 in the organization. We'll never use this go 100, go 1000 and all. Sometimes while testing, who will insert multiple records, right? Instead of that, we can use the same record for multiple times. In that way, we can add 1000 or 10,000 or 1 lakh records using this go function. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. Any other questions, guys?
Sir, is there any option to restore or data which is deleted?
There are some options. There are some options. In the recovery classes, we'll discuss how you are going to recover the database. We have. Why? Because safety is very important to any database, every database. So how you can provide the safety by taking backups and restores. So using backup restore, you can restore the deleted data also, but there is a different mechanism for that. In the database restores and recovery classes, we'll discuss those things. Yes, there is a mechanism. Okay.
And lastly, sir, how will we differentiate between the log files and data files?
You only tell me, Sarvasva, how you are going to differentiate.
No, sir, is there any extension or
Oh, got it. I got your question. Yes. I guess in the last class we discussed it, guys. So if it is data file, how it will be. If it is log file, how it will be, guys. Anyone remembered?
MDF, MDF.
That's it. MDF and LDF. Okay. So let me open this path again. So let me show you the files. See program files, Microsoft SQL Server, instance root directory, MS SQL, data folder. There you can see data files, all the data files. And I created template Telegram, right? WhatsApp I created and Telegram I created. So this is your Telegram data file and log file. Underscore log will be there. That is called your log file. And if you see the type of the file, it will show you SQL Server database transaction log file. And you can see extension also. If you go and check the extension of this file, .ldf will be there. So I'm sorry, if you see .ldf, that is your log file. If you see .mdf, that is your data file. Clear? Yeah. Done, guys. Okay, so this is the usage of data file and log file, and this is how you are going to insert. Now let's discuss about the filtering, data filtering. What is this data filter and all? What is meant by filtering? Let me give you one example. I want to do shopping. Okay, I want to do shopping, guys. I want to buy some t-shirts. Okay, so I'll open SEO. SEO will help us to buy like clothes and all. Right, so I just opened SEO. So now I want to buy t-shirts, right? Lot of things will be there here. T-shirts, jeans, shirts, 3x4 shorts, sweatshirts, track pants, lot of things are there. I want to buy t-shirts. Okay, let's select t-shirts. So now if you see how many t-shirts are there, 76,000 t-shirts are there, right? You can see for men, not sure how women came, I just selected men. So for men I can see 76,715 t-shirts are there, right? When you select t-shirts, all the t-shirts you can see 76,000 records. 76,000 t-shirts means 76,000 records are there in this particular t-shirts table. In t-shirts table, men's t-shirts table, 76,000 records are there, right? Chalo. Now what I will do, I am going to apply some filters. I want to buy from, okay, US Polo. I want to buy from Puma. I want to buy from Super Dry. Okay. So now my brand, please be muted. If you don't have questions, please be muted. Yeah, thank you. Right. So I want to apply some filters here. So I selected US Polo and Super Dry and Puma. Earlier 76,000 records are there. When I apply these filters, see how many records will be there. Right. Now it came to 5,000 records. Means out of 76,000 records, 5,000 records belongs to Puma, US Polo, Super Dry. Again, from here, I want to apply the size. Okay, I want to buy XL, guys. Where is XL? Okay. I want to buy XL t-shirts. Okay, selected XL. Okay, I just selected XL and I just applied the filter. Now, out of 5,000, I can see 2,578 XL t-shirts are there. So now what I'll do, I'll go with the fabric, maybe cotton. Okay, let's go with the cotton. Okay, so out of, again, 2,500, again 2,161 cotton t-shirts are there. Okay, so whenever I am applying the filters, colors, let's go with the colors. I want to buy, okay, a blue t-shirt. Okay, blue t-shirt. Now you can see 291 t-shirts. Earlier 76,000 items are there, but when I'm applying the filters, okay, I applied filters on brands, I applied filters on size, I applied filters on fabric, I applied filters on based on the color. So when you applied all these filters, now 291 records came. When you stop this, when you delete these filters, again you can see all 76,000 records, right? Right? You can see all 76,000 records, right? How this is applying, guys? How this is working? That is called filtering. How you are going to filter? Using where condition, you can filter the records. Using where condition. See how many records are there in my table now? 304, 305 records are there. Now, I want to filter all the WhatsApp contacts from US, guys. I want to filter all the WhatsApp contacts from US. I want to filter all the WhatsApp contacts from US. What I'll do? I want to see. I want to see. See means which query, guys? Using which query we can see the data? Select. Very good. Select. I want to see all the records. All the records means star. All means star, right? From which table? WhatsApp contact.
From WhatsApp.
Right? Right. Now listen carefully. If I execute this statement, of course you can see all 305 records again. But here I want to filter right from US. From US I want to filter. So for filtering, which condition will use? Where condition. Where? What you want to apply? On which column you want to apply? On location column. Location is equal to which location? On US. For US location. That's it. Select star from WhatsApp contacts. Means from WhatsApp contacts, select all the records that belongs to US. So earlier I have 305 records, right? When I run this query, you can see only one record. Only one record is there, guys. Out of 305 records, only one record is there. Right? Earlier we have seen, right, 76,000 t-shirts are there. But you are able to see, finally when you apply all the filters, you are able to see only 200 records. 200 change records. Why? Because you applied some filters. You might ask, what about remaining 304 records? What happened to those 304 records? Nothing happened, like filters only. If you remove the filters, again you can see 291 t-shirts, right? If you remove this blue color, again filters removed and you can see 2161. If you remove this cotton, you can see 2500 records. If you remove this Excel, you can see remaining records. So when you are removing filters, you can see all the records. When you are applying filters, you can see specific records based on the condition. Okay, so now if I mention, now tell me guys, what is the query to see all the WhatsApp contacts from UK? Tell me guys, all the WhatsApp contacts from UK.
Just changing US to
That's it. Simply instead of US, I'll mention, I'll change it to UK. All text. See how many records are there? 101 records are there. 101 records are there. Now I want to see all the records from India. Very simple. So simply you have to mention India. India. So all text you can see 203 records are there from India. Now tell me guys, I'll just change this. Now I want to see all the Smiths in my WhatsApp contacts. I want to see how many Smiths are there in my WhatsApp contact. Tell me
instead
guys.
of location.
Your name is equal to Smith.
Where?
Yes.
Smith is called your contact name, right? So
Contact
where
name.
contact name, column name is equal to
Equals.
Smith. Okay? All text, only one Smith is there. I want to see all Kamats. So simply add Kamat here. Okay, you can see. Okay, 102 Kamats are there. His ID is 4. Okay guys, so in this way we can add filters. So what happened? Can anyone tell me what about my other? Now you can see 102 records. What about my other 200 records? Total 305 records are there, right? What about remaining 203 records? What happened? Are those deleted from this table?
No.
Oh, sure.
There.
Then so what happened, when you run this statement, SQL Server will create a temporary table to store the results temporarily. So this will be done in the tempdb. There is a separate database called tempdb. So in this temp database, it will create a temporary table with the condition, whatever condition you gave. Okay, whatever records that met the condition, with those records, it will create a temporary table. So you are getting data from the temporary table, not from original table. This data is from temporary table. How come it is able to see only 102 records? Either it has to delete remaining 203 records, right? It's not deleting. But how come it is able to see? It is able to show the records of 102 instead of 305. Very simple. When you apply filters, whatever output will come, that output will be temporarily stored in one table called temporary table. This is the temporary table results. Clear guys? Any questions,
Yes.
any doubts?
Hi, sir.
Yes, please.
Since after applying the filters, going to create the temp table.
Correct. Yes. Based on the where condition, it will create temporary table.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
No problem. Right, now I want to filter a specific column, guys. Till now we filtered specific records. Okay, I want to filter specific columns. Okay, how to filter specific columns? So star means all columns, right? Star means all columns, right? So now I want to pull only a specific column. So I'll delete the star. What column you want to see? Contact name. Select what you want to select. Contact name column. From where? From WhatsApp contacts table name. See, you can see only contact names. You can see only oh my god, 8:44. Okay, sorry guys, sorry. I didn't check the time itself. I am just checking this 8:14 time. I'm so sorry. Okay, so I'm going to end the session for now. So in this way we can filter the records and we can filter the columns, guys. So tomorrow assignment is complete this assignment for tomorrow. So create employee table with employee ID, employee name. Guys, you might have one doubt why you are giving this string. For a number, you are not giving any single quotes, but for data, for records, you are giving this single quotes. Why? This is called string type of data. Names and all strings kind of data. String. So that's why you have to put in a single quotes. I thought someone will ask this doubt, but no one asked. So why for numbers I didn't put any single quotes. Only for the names I put. Why? Because name is a string. I'm sorry. So for strings I have to put this single quotes, guys, before and the end of the string. So create employee table with employee ID, employee name, location and salary. Okay, now filter. First create employee database, then create employee table in the employee database. Okay, in which database? In the employee database, empdb. Okay, filter the insert 500 records. No problem, duplicate records also no issues. You know right how to insert 500 records. Filters records based on the rows and the columns. So this is your exercise for tomorrow, guys, assignment for tomorrow. Once you complete it, please send me the screenshot. Okay, so that's it for today, guys. Tomorrow we'll connect and we'll complete the discussion. Okay, thank you, guys. Good night, good day, bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.